Most women think not arguing means giving in. But what if I told you that arguing is the exact thing keeping you from being heard and loved? I'm Bob Grant. I'm a relationship expert, author of The Woman Men Adore. And one of the things that I talk with women about is what to do about arguing and how they're going about doing it. Now, before, what I've usually mentioned to women is I'll say, never argue with a man, but I realize I need to clarify that. So from a man's standpoint, arguing is competitive. When men argue, it really is about may the best idea, may the best person win. The key word there is win. Arguing is not about trying to reach a compromise. Arguing is more, and I talk about this in the Woman Men Adore program, it's more like sharpening steel. It's who has the strongest steel, who has the best idea. It's not even personal. It's just, this is why your idea is wrong. This is why my idea is better. Women don't talk like that. Men do. So if we're arguing, it's, I don't understand your point. Therefore, I must prove to you why mine is superior. And when I'm doing this, my voice may get louder. I may get more intense. I may get more, it's not that I hate you as much as I'm just really focused on making this point because it's really important to me. Well, that's a tough way in a relationship to resolve things if we're doing that. But when that happens and men start to invoke their emotion, what does it do with a woman? It makes her feel emotional too. And once her emotions are involved or your emotions are involved, now it feels more personal, right? It feels like, say it, feels like he's not listening. Because if he was listening, he would understand what I was saying. He would understand that I'm trying to be reasonable. He would understand that I've got a valid point. You're not even demanding that he agree with you. Well, maybe sometimes. But that's not your main thing. You just want to be heard, right? Leave a comment below if you're thinking something different when you're arguing. Is it that you don't feel heard? Is that it just feels like he's trying to dominate you? And then I'll check those out. But the thing is, you inadvertently step into masculine energy once you start arguing. And I'm going to define arguing as where things start to get heated and intense, or more specifically, when it feels competitive. Competitive, some women will describe this, it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like he's listening to me. You know, that's a different thing. We can be upset and still feel like we're listened to. I can be upset with someone and still make it a point to hear them. So that's just a conscious choice. That's what I want you to focus on. Is he trying to hear you, or does it feel like he's not hearing you? He's just repeating what he's saying, trying to get that thought through your thick skull. And once it feels this way, that's what I want you to pay attention to. Because if you keep doubling down and keep matching him, the tendency is to think, oh, I have to make sure he doesn't take advantage of me or take me for granted. Or I don't want him to think I'm weak. Or I don't want him to think that I'm a pushover. That he can just get mad and I'm just going to give in to what he wants. I don't want that either. But if you argue with him, you're actually validating what he's doing. You're rewarding him. You may not realize it is a reward. Remember, arguing and competition is a man's game. We are wired for combat. We are geared toward it. How are we geared toward it? Because once we start to get upset or feel threatened, we can shut off the rest of our emotions. We can hyper-focus. You ladies watching, you cannot. I mean, I'm sure you can to some degree, but you start to feel everything. Every man I know has talked about a time when they had an argument or disagreement, and they were okay. They weren't that upset. And when they were upset, all of a sudden the woman just got mad and started crying. And just got mad and said, why are you being so mean? And he's like, what? He's shocked. He wasn't trying to be mean and cruel and sad, haven't even come into his mind. He's just focused on making the argument or winning the point. She's feeling all this other stuff. She's feeling like she's not heard. She's feeling like she isn't loved. She's feeling like she's not important. That's what I want you to step out from. It's not telling you how to feel. So I want you to focus on is that when you feel that competitive nature, get out of that argument. Get out of it. Won't he think he's won? He can think whatever he wants. Getting out of it doesn't mean giving in to what he wants. Doesn't mean you're agreeing with him. Getting out of it is, watch me on this one, arguing is beneath you. I want you to start thinking in terms of arguing as the same thing as you're in a party dress and someone has a muddy football and says, come on, let's go play football. And you're like, my dress? Yeah, that dress should never be in a football game. You don't argue with dogs. You don't argue with small children, and you don't argue with men because it's beneath you. It's okay if they have the last word. It doesn't mean you have to go along with what they say. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it. I can listen to you and not agree with you. Absolutely. You can say the most bizarre thing. I can nod. I do this for a living all the time. I'll nod and listen. Because if I don't listen to them, they don't feel like I've listened, they're not going to listen to what I say. But if it gets competitive, I can't listen. I can't hear because I'm going to feel attacked. I'm going to feel like it's someone trying to win versus us trying to come up with something together. So when it feels like getting out of it, how do you get out of it? I want you to say these magic words. You say, this doesn't feel good right now. What's he going to say? What? What do you mean it doesn't feel good? This is not about convincing him. This is just to give you an all friend. When you're talking loud, you say, or when you interrupt me, you want to point to something specific. It doesn't feel good. And what we're doing with this is we're letting him know that you're about to exit if it continues. As a man, he's got more power than you. He's likely bigger than you. He's certainly got more testosterone. You don't want to play that game. Don't tell him all that stuff. That's between us. But that's what I want you to say to him. And then let's see what he does. A lot of times men will slow down when you do this. They'll realize that they're going to that fifth gear. And that fifth gear, if you're a dad, it's called daddy's voice, where we just push on power. I said stop. That thing we do. It doesn't work when you're discussing stuff with a woman. It doesn't make her feel safe. It doesn't. You can use it. I mean, I've done it before, and it doesn't work. I want you to give him a forewarning you're about to leave. Because if he keeps doubling down, then you leave the room. He'll get mad. I don't care if he's mad. I'd rather him be mad than you stay there and argue. He'll be fine. I don't know your specific situation, but in general, men are fine. It's just an emotion. He'll leave me. If he leaves you because you walked out of him being like that, then there's probably other problems going on, right? So I want you to get out. And when you do, you're going to stay away until he calms down. If he approaches you later, is a little bit calmer, let's just resume the conversation. We don't have to have a long talk about you leaving. But if he comes back and says, that really bothers me when you leave, you say, well, I didn't know what else to do. And just leave it at that. If he's got another option, that's fine. But you just staying there while he wants to be competitive is not an option any longer. Please, this is what creates value in his eyes. Because in his mind, remember this phrase you'll hear me say a lot, as a man, if you cannot handle me when I'm a pill, if you can't set the appropriate boundary, if you can't take care of yourself when I'm agitated or I'm being a jerk, or that means you're weak. And if you're weak, I can't trust you when I'm scared. If you can't handle me when I can't trust you when I'm scared. They're not going to tell you this. I'll tell you. That's why when you stand up to him, again, the way I just described, when you put your heart first, it creates value in his eyes. You can handle me. Okay. You're safe. Even if I get angry, you don't give in. Because ladies, when you're heart-centered, that's not selfish. That makes you more appealing to him. Try this. I mean, don't go out and pick a fight. But try this the next time. Come back, leave a comment. Let me know how it worked. I mean, I know how it's going to work, but give it a try. And while you're doing this, be sure and check out the rest of our videos. I look forward to seeing you next time.